Courage grabbed the milk carton and drank from it. Also, there was a dead kid in the fridge.
Hey, is this a theory or is this like fan fiction?
That's
where,
what I'm
like,
saying. This sounds like fan fiction.
I know where like he has sex with Courage or something.
It
You
sounds
might
like,
be into that.
No, I'm not into that at all, but it might be fan fiction though.
We are going to start an international entertainment company, the biggest and the best. And we're going to call it
Nuff Boys.
Hey, I'm telling you. And we're gonna make this so cinematic. Like, I'm talking about IMAX. Like Malik said earlier, it's gonna be 4D. You're gonna feel the out the camera. Out the, wherever you watch your TV, laptop, it don't matter.
Sounds so cool. feel like a lightning bolt hit the tip of my penis.
Yeah.
We're brothers.
Welcome to the Nuff Boys podcast, episode 1. We're playing the game called One Leaves. It's a horror game, single player, but we're gonna take turns while we talk about this conspiracy theory about Courage the Cowardly Dog. That's gonna be our first topic of the day. So what do you know about Courage the Cowardly Dog?
I just know he was a runt of his pack, and he lived in an abusive household, like kind of abusive father figure with a loving mother figure. I feel like a lot of people can relate to it. And he just got into a lot of shenanigans, I guess. But he wanted to do the best for his family and save everybody.
I agree.
That's about it, though. I feel like that's a pretty brief description of the cartoon.
You ever thought about anything iffy about it though? Like, they're in the middle of nowhere. They're an old couple, middle of nowhere. TV will always go off. And the dog is always trying to save the people for some reason, but he couldn't speak to them. He's like, remember that scene where he tried to type on the computer?
Yeah, and then he would say real words there, though.
He would type real words.
Nah, he actually spoke. Whenever he was with people, he never said a word. He would always do like the noise that you were talking about. But when he was by himself, he would say like 5 words.
5 words, yeah.
But
you ever thought that was kind of something was iffy about that?
honestly, the whole show used to scare me. I used to watch it because it was on Cartoon Network, and I love Cartoon Network, but it was just something I would force myself to watch. Like, yeah, don't be a bitch. Watch this.
Yeah, for real. Hey, I was the same way. I ain't gonna lie. I used to get so scared. I think I turned off some of the shows. Like, it was like, it's not Adult Swim, but it'll be the episodes before Adult Swim.
Yeah.
And then Robot Chicken will pop up, and that's when I really couldn't sleep that same night. Yeah, but here, I'm gonna let you take over while I read this. So this is the truth behind Courage the Cowardly Dog. So okay, so it starts with Courage the Cowardly Dog, the middle of nowhere, the place where Courage and his family lives, was based on an actual place that was located in Truth or Consequences, New Mexico, which was home to a series of horrible murders from David Parker Ray, who was a kidnapper, torturer, rapist, and serial killer. Police investigators believe that David murdered over 60 people, both from Arizona and New Mexico. An entire area of the nearby New Mexico towns, made a perfect playground for David. He brought in soundproof and truck trailer that he called the toy box, and equipped it with many items used for sexual torture, which gave him the name the Toy Box Killer. He would travel through the Truth or Consequences looking for abandoned houses that were far away from civilizations to attack and kill his victims. You're probably wondering how all of this has to do with Courage the Cowardly Dog. David will stalk his prey by wearing many disguises to attempt to gain the trust of his unlucky victims. He would ask to be let into people's homes by sob stories that he came up with, which bears a striking resemblance to all the tactics commonly used by most of the evil characters that Courage and his family encountered while living in the middle of nowhere.
So, is the theory that Courage was protecting his family from
David.
the serial killer, David?
Yeah, this lines up good just because there's a lot of people who become a lot of different evil characters.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of them. So, thinking about it, I wouldn't be surprised if this was based off that. It's a good conspiracy.
Yeah.
It's a good one. But my question is,
Man, what?
so would you invoke a dog to make it more kid friendly? What makes it kid friendly then?
I'm gonna say this. Well, I think this what makes it kid friendly is everybody loves dogs, and the dog in the show is the person that gets abused, is beat on, like everybody hates him, but he always tries to do right by his family and help his family no matter what the cost, really. Even though he's always scared and doesn't want to do it, he knows he has to do it because, I guess, like you said, if he doesn't do it, you don't know what might happen to Muriel and Eustace. They probably would die.
They would probably die. That's true. They will probably die. There's another theory if you wanna listen to it.
I mean, it makes sense.
It makes
I don't even know
sense.
if that's even a theory. It sounds like fact.
It sounds like facts. I wonder if the owner ever like talked about it, and they probably won't say that was their inspiration, because that wouldn't look good on them, because they're trying to normalize serial killers, I guess, or how would people think in society? You know what I mean?
But are they trying to normalize it, or are they
That's how
just
people
kind
would
of?
think.
I guess. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Nowadays it's hard to like we was talking about it. Nowadays it's hard to make content that won't offend everybody.
Yeah.
You know.
I'm just so you know, I'm playing this scary game. I'm just running around. I'm trying to get scared.
You're trying to get scared?
Yeah, I want to see what happens.
Yeah, it's not even that scary, to be real. Okay, so this is the other one. Courage the Cowardly Dog has always been an unnerving show. Hell, I've always been afraid of dogs that are pink. It's very unnatural. And that being said, one character has been a recurring nightmare to the loyal Courage the Cowardly Dog fan base is King Remus.
Oh, you got a picture of him?
King Remus, no. He's that fucking guy who asked for a dab or a shit. I don't know. It's freaky as hell. Apple, come here.
Hell nah. I'm about to follow him.
Don't take. I'm just gonna read the important part. Don't take time to ask for proof.
Confused? Nope.
Okay, he said it all began when I went to my local Courage the Cowardly Dog fan club meeting at Ford. I've been going for weeks now, and I finally found people who accepted me for my unconditional love for the show, made for people half my age. I had met plenty of new friends there, the likes of Mike Wazowski, Tony, and Hawk. Okay, the episode started normal. The title card read Dead Kids, but something was off. Like Courage was a different Hexaco color of pink. About three of the few thousand shades of pink off. I don't know, because I'm an expert of the show right now. Courage wakes up in the middle of the night and heads to get a drink of water. Strangely, he doesn't seem to show any cowardness, only absolute alpha male courage. He walks on both legs, and from then on, I felt as if ain't no one's gonna break his stride. He opened the fridge, and what we saw shocked us to the core. Courage grabbed the milk carton and drank from it. Also, there was a dead kid in the fridge.
Hey, is this a theory or is this like fan fiction?
That's
where,
what I'm
like,
saying. This sounds like fan fiction.
I know where like he has sex with Courage or something.
It
You
sounds
might
like,
be into that.
No, I'm not into that at all, but it might be fan fiction though. On the milk carton, it had a picture of the kid stating, "Missing perfect kid, Daniel, with full life ahead and free college goes missing." We all were petrified. Did Courage really just murder that kid? All of a sudden, Courage hears a sound. Return to slab. We, even the mouth alpha male Courage, were mortified at that sound. The show pans to a window where King Remus is center shot holding the dead kid. He was super dead, and there were guts and shit. I don't know. Whatever dead people look like, that was him. Return to slab or kill more kids. Terrified, Courage replies, "Woof," and runs away.
Hey, if you're gonna make fan fiction, be an actual good writer, because whoever wrote that was terrible.
Yeah, that was
the story
bad.
made no
It
sense.
made no sense. Why would you bring up names that were like Mike Wazowski, Tony, and Hawk? You know, that's not funny. You were trying to make it funny. Yeah, that has to be satire. Yeah.
I know why you picked it though. You're trying to live your own fantasies.
Nah, I can look up fan fiction. Hey.
Nah, if you look up Courage the Cowardly Dog fan fiction, you're definitely finding Courage.
And Merle.
Yeah, she's putting peanut butter down low, and seeing what dogs can do for her, I guess.
With the web, she on menopause.
Hey, he might be able to turn back the hands of time the way he's working. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, what's something Courage would always say? Like a catchphrase?
Oh, courage. Oof. I don't know.
Yeah.
All right, so this is people are saying actually we've been saying this and you've been saying this a lot. People are saying people with things like ADHD, autism, and mental disorders are freakishly smart.
Oh,
and
yeah.
There's a theory behind that.
How is that okay, go ahead, finish the talk.
They said that Western society is based around a need for conformity. Autism comes from the Greek word autos, meaning self. Autist has a typical sense of self. I would argue that the reason that Western society doesn't talk about that whole, point of autism is suspicious. I imagine if you emphasize that autist has a regular relationship with itself, then the rest of the people will realize that only 50% of people meet the definition for self-awareness. Self-awareness is what makes us special. So they're saying people who are autistic are very special, self-aware.
By autism, you mean like on the spectrum? Like Down syndrome is not autism, right?
Nah, I think it's just that's a syndrome. Wait, that's a syndrome, right? Autism is a syndrome, or is it the opposite? Down syndrome is a syndrome, something like that, right?
Down syndrome is
autism is a disorder. Down syndrome is a syndrome, right? Because I know piriformis syndrome. You'll think that's a psychological thing, right? But you know what piriformis syndrome is?
Nah, you're the doctor.
You know what that is, bro? It's just literally like, it's like sciatica nerve. You know the sciatica nerve?
Mm-hmm.
It's literally that, but it's to the point where it doesn't cross your knee. So I'm thinking syndrome. I'm thinking muscle deficiency. You know what I mean? So I think Down syndrome is syndrome means physical, like, you know what I mean? And autism is a disorder. So I don't think they're the same.
Hey, so if you had a kid and you had a doctor and they were like, yeah, your kid has autism, what are you doing? Are you treating them any different, or are you like, I might be happy.
No cap.
The way you're describing it.
No cap. My teacher, actually, she's a doctor, and she told us her kid is autistic, and she said that she actually does approach it differently. She makes people more aware. She don't treat her child differently. She just makes people more aware. Like when she goes, for example, she said when she goes to conferences for like sports performance, like, what about the people who are blind who can't see this? You know what I mean? What about the people who can't hear? Are they gonna listen to it?
So that's her first thought is like,
Other people.
bringing other people up.
Yeah, bringing other people up. People who are like disabled. And I was like, I think it changed her mindset to look at to worry about everybody else. And I think she does worry about her kid more, but like, I think I'll be the same way. Like, damn, what about the people who can't walk? Because she told us, like, they play soccer. The deaf people who play soccer, the blind people, they play with a beeper. And I actually asked this question in class. I'm like,
so the ball has a beeper on it.
yeah. And I asked the question in class. I'm like, is there out of bounds? And people started laughing. I was like, what's so funny? They're like, that's fucked up. I was like, I'm being dead ass. is they're out of bounds in beeper soccer. How would you know? Is there electric collars on their neck to shock them when they're about to go out of bounds? Like some dogs?
I think my biggest fear, honestly, would be like if you went and misstepped on the ball and then your ankle just rolls backwards.
Or just hitting somebody?
Or
Going full
yeah,
speed?
running full speed. Because I know, I'm trying to put myself in their shoes. Like, if I'm playing soccer, I'm having a big smile on my face, running freely, and then just smacking into somebody full speed.
She said there's no concussion.
Man, I'm trying to be scared of this.
She said there's no concussion protocols for people who are blind. And think about it. What's the first thing you do when you're concussed?
What about hearing, though?
Eyes test.
I thought hearing is a big part of concussion. Like, if
The beep test?
beep and if you're getting...
But like
Man, kill me.
But how can you test if somebody who's blind? How can you test if they're impaired? You know what I mean? Like it's easy to test somebody who can see because, you know what I mean. A lot of the shit we do is like something on the screen. When it comes to concussions, you've been in there. You've been in the rooms. You gotta memorize shit. How you going? How is a blind person gonna memorize stuff? There's probably nothing out there for them for that. Think about that. She made me think about it. I was telling you, that gorilla munch.
I'm transcending right now. I feel like I'm watching us give the review from back here.
This is what was meant to be interpreted in the Bible. They say God fed a loaf of bread to 1,000 people. I really don't know. 1,000 or million? Really translated from Hebrew. For English, I mean, in the Hebrew language, they meant to say gorilla munch. I mean, we meant to translate it to gorilla munch. So he fed everybody gorilla munch.
I'm gonna make this statement. Your chia pet is gonna turn into a tree trunk.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So just know that, like, chia, they only grow this big. A tree trunk, how big does that grow?
Space.
I knew I was gonna get in here. Open all 4 drawers in the morgue. Ooh, it's getting dark. Okay. Oh, I forgot I had a flashlight. Now it's not dark anymore.
Somebody said the NFL is rigged. King Charles supports the.
Nah, the NFL, I believe the NFL is rigged.
Hey, I ain't gonna lie. You seen what Aaron Foster said?
Wait, Aaron Foster?
The running back from the Texans. He said the league is scripted.
I thought it was somebody else. Oh, but are you talking about in the podcast?
Yeah, he said it in the podcast.
Yeah, I believe that.
Want me to tell you what he said?
He said that you have a whole script. You get a script, and practice is mostly about learning what's going to happen in the game rather than like practicing to get better, right?
Yeah, I can break it up.
But I believe that. I 100% believe that the NFL is rigged. And honestly, the NFL I would say, is the easiest sport to rig.
There's so many influences, factors that can influence a game that doesn't involve the players.
Yeah.
But this is what he said. He said every year he used to get a script. Day when a training camp, he would get dropped off at his locker. Foster picked up the ball and ran with it. We were really dedicated to it, he said. So it was a Morcio. Like, that's what practice was about. It was about practicing the script. Like, this is what goes on. This is what we have to do. WWF. So we know what was going to happen, but you still have to put on a show.
Yeah, like WWE.
Yeah.
I mean, here's the thing.
And they just showing pictures of, like, fighter scripts.
To rig football, you don't have to tell everybody. You can only, like, especially defensively, to be a great defense, you have to have 11 people working together.
Yeah.
pretty much. So if you just tell two people to, hey, tell him to do something wrong, it's easy to, if you, like, okay, so like you just rig it with the linebackers. You can have the linebackers tell the D-line to do something wrong.
See, the only reason why I don't know, like, think about it. In wrestling, is there stats instead of just wins?
No. They're like title defenses. I feel like that's the only stat.
Then why is there so many stats in the NFL if it's rigged?
Because when you have stats,
You know what I mean?
But we talked about this before. When you have stats, it's easy to build a narrative behind somebody.
It is, but like, we know wrestling is rigged though. You know what I mean? We could easily make stats in there. You know what I mean?
Well, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Oh, it's a smoker.
Yeah.
Hey, I know a lot of people like this.
Yeah.
Hey, get in there. I need some. But
The only I got a lot of questions that like make me want to say it's not rigged, but there's a lot of stuff that I know that like even somebody who's like, I don't know, like for example, when the ref are blinded by the call. Remember that when they the team that was in the playoffs got first down and they didn't blow the whistle or nothing.
mm-hmm.
You got the option to review the play, but you didn't want to do it.
Snap.
You know what I mean?
You just ate my ass.
You did, but you had the option to review play, but you didn't. That's why I think it's rigged, because you know how like they review the play when it's a touchdown,
Yeah.
but they don't review other plays. There's a lot of stuff that like if it's an incomplete pass, they won't even review it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's what makes me think like when it's an incomplete pass and it's a touchdown, we see a lot of them where they put 2 feet in, but they just run no huddle and then I think no huddles make the script. That's when you know it's against script. Is when they do a no huddle.
Why? Because you don't have time to react to it?
No, it makes the audience think like, oh, they could have stopped the play because they did no huddle. They know the rules. You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
And I feel like that's a good way to be like, to know that what's about to happen is going to be scripted.
But like I said, okay, you only to rig football, you only need like 3-4 players out of 22.
Yeah.
If you have the quarterback, that's easy to rig it.
But why is Cam Newton trying to come back to the league a lot? Is he part of the script?
I feel like, because
think about it.
Psychologically, like, imagine, okay, this is the one thing about sports, I guess you could say, is not that, it's not that good, right? It teaches you how to be a warrior, which is good, but like even back when they had a lot of warriors, I'm talking about like Spartans, Viking warriors, whatever, those people lived and died by that. They rather die a warrior than grow old.
Mm-hmm.
So when you got that warrior mindset, like if you're a football player, you rather play football, even if it's fake. Even if it's fake, I'd rather play football than work a desk job. I want to be a warrior. I want that glory. I want everybody screaming my name.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
And you get paid millions of dollars.
I don't know about that. Because, like, so what about the players trying to come back? What about the players who get cut and still trying to pursue that dream? At that point, you already know you're not part of the script, right? Technically. You know your neighbor's not in the script.
Nah, you
Why
don't
still
know
trying
that.
to? But you do, because he said the first day of training camp.
A star player will get his script.
No, he said the first day of training camp ever.
So who is it? Who is it again?
So if you think a star player, what about the players that broke out, that have a breakout season, and they're not even a star? Think about that. Players who just break out of nowhere. Like for example, the player who played behind Von Miller, Cardinal Jones, Chandler Jones, I mean. So you tell me his script is like, just wait 4 years. 5th year, you gonna break out.
No. I think once you have a good season, that's why you have to have some people in, some people not in. Does that make sense?
That's why I don't believe it's scripted. Just because there's so many things that you cannot control. That, you know what I mean? What if somebody just breaks out of nowhere? They break the script. Now we gotta rewrite the script and make it revolve around them. That's just the nature of the game at that point. It's just star players it's like LeBron.
Yeah, I think it's this. Who at this particular moment is gonna make me more money? That's literally the only thing that matters in NFL, NBA, MLB. Who right now can make me the most money? I think
it's different where you're saying script and putting players as your franchise player, or like the league players. I think that's not a script, really, to be honest, because there's players who are the face of the league, but are not even in the Super Bowl. You know what I mean?
Because they make the most money.
Yeah, but like, if it was all scripted, wouldn't they be in the Super Bowl?
No.
Think about it.
Because, like, it's a cash cow, right? You want to do... somebody... If I know I'm going to get paid every time I do something, then you don't have to worry about me. I'm trying to diversify and get money from other places. So, every year, this person is going to get me paid every year.
Yeah.
So, I don't have to worry about him. He's all set. Now, I have to worry about somebody else. How can I make more money off their name, pretty much? That's what I think their mindset is.
But this is what I'm saying. I know there's a handful of players, like let's say the script stuff is very true. There's a handful of players who were traded onto Super Bowl teams. Did their script say that? Did they know they were going to get traded to Super Bowl teams?
No.
Then what does the script say?
I think the script says, make sure you target this person this many times to cover stat. Like, and I'm thinking about positionally, like quarterback. Yeah, target your players. Wide receiver, if it's a script, I don't know. You will get a certain amount of balls, I guess. Yeah, you're gonna get. Just so you know, you're gonna get this many targets. You're gonna get this many carries, and
that's why I don't believe there's a script.
And then if you're a linebacker, make sure this hole is open on this play.
That's why I don't believe there's a script for the players. If we're talking about a script, then it's the OC and DCs. You want to be for real? The DC can make the plays work for the offense.
I mean that too.
And think about it, like it's hard to script the NFL for players, giving players certain scripts, just because I just believe, like, for example, like whoever wrote Tom Brady's script, oh my god, second to last pick in the draft, everything goes his way. He retires and then comes back. And then he has off-season issues with his wife. And then he has players like Antonio Brown come. He didn't make the Super Bowl his last year. If I was him, I'd be mad that my script didn't let me go to the Super Bowl my final year. But, you know, like you said, there's a money grab issue to the point. But that's why I just don't believe that there's a script in the NFL, just because there's so many factors that play into it.
But also,
like, what about incentives? What's the incentives about them?
Incentives make sure you do what I tell you to do.
No, people don't research incentives sometimes. Like Chris Jones last year, he had to get 3 more sacks before his last season. I mean, before the last game. So you told me he made sure he didn't get his 3 sacks the last game?
No.
You know what I mean?
Wait, what team? I don't.
He played for I think he played for the Chiefs.
The Chiefs? Okay.
But think about it. Why would I leave $10 million on the table? So my script tells me, look,
he might not be a player with. He might not be a player with the script though.
But why is there incentives?
To make sure you're putting your best on like, okay, so if one player doesn't have
that's
a script,
that's why I say Chris Jones.
Yeah, so he's a player. So I'll say that he's a player that doesn't have a script, right? And I'm saying
he's a player who has incentive to get 13 sacks, and he only got 10.
No. He's a player that doesn't have a script. Like he's a main character on the team, but he's not a main character in writing the script for the NFL, right?
That's why it doesn't make sense.
No. Let me finish. So the fact that he doesn't have his own script, I want him to give me his best performance. So I give him incentives to work hard.
So his part is not scripted.
Yeah, not everybody. Like I said, you don't need a script. Everybody, you just need a script 3 or 4 players.
That's why I don't believe that.
And then also, let me ask you this: who do you think cares about a Super Bowl? Who's the owner of the Jerry Jones? Is that the owner of the Dallas Cowboys?
Jerry Jones, yeah.
So the Dallas Cowboys is America's team. They have the most fans worldwide.
They don't have the most fans worldwide.
Statistically, I'm sure they do. They bring in the most money each year. Do you think he cares about a Super Bowl win?
I mean, that's just, I can't go inside his head. I don't know if he has morals. I don't know like what's his idea. I don't know if he's a businessman or actually a person.
He's a businessman. He owns an NFL team. Because if
That's
he
what I'm
wasn't,
saying. I don't know. I can't go inside his head.
Hey, if he actually cared about, like,
I can't say that he actually cares about winning a Super Bowl. I think he's gonna put his team in the best position to win a Super Bowl, for sure.
I think he's.
I'm not going like he didn't take this season. Think about it. They went to the second round.
Yeah, because they have good players, and it's a good team. But he doesn't have to win a Super Bowl to make $1 billion. Is what I'm saying. The Cowboys make $1 billion every year. So I don't care about making the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Just put on a good performance for me. That's all he cares about.
See, that's why I don't know. I really don't know about that part. I really don't know about that part.
The only people
because you tell me if they go 0-11, are they still making that same money?
They're not making the same money, but they still have the same fan base.
Okay, let's say,
and they're still going to be one of the most profitable NFL teams.
They lose to certain teams, and they win against certain teams.
That's what they do now.
That's what you're saying, right?
Yeah.
They lose to certain teams and win against certain teams.
They lose against certain teams that they should. Like, I don't watch the Cowboys, but I know a lot of Cowboys fans, and they're always like, yeah, we lose to these teams every year that we should always beat. And we win the games that we should, that, like, maybe.
That's why I can't think it's scripted, just because, like, I don't watch football. I don't watch football. I could care less about football. You know? I watch highlights. I watch certain plays highlights. That's the only thing I watch. I don't watch the full game to see, you know what I mean? Like, I always turn that shit off by halftime or a quarter. Or I just be on my phone playing the game. So that's why I don't know, like, who's really gonna watch the whole game to see if it's scripted? There's people out there who take clips out, post on Twitter or YouTube, and like NFL's rigged.
And I'll say this about you though, in particular, you live the football life. You're a college athlete. You know what I mean? Some people don't have that. They like the closest thing they're getting to football is Sunday night.
Yeah, that's true.
And they worship people.
But if you want to be real, college football makes more money than NFL. The NCAA is a crazy business.
Yeah, but I feel
is the NCAA scripted?
That's too. It could be.
It's easy to influence college players because you don't pay them.
Now that they do. So that's the thing about NIL. That
the NCAA don't play college players. Outside sources play college players.
Yeah, so if I'm an outside, so if I'm your sponsor and I want you to not make a play, like, okay, let's say this. I'm your sponsor, right? And this is why, like I said, this is why NIL makes it interesting. I'm your sponsor, and I put a money line on the other team, and I'm like, hey, Marvin, make a few mistakes for me. Make sure that this doesn't happen. Make sure you guys lose. Make sure that the running back rushes for this many yards. Can you do that for me?
See, this is the thing, though. So, how much money they give me? $5 million? I'm not doing that for $10K. I'm not even doing that because it's worth more than, at that point, people who play in college, their goal is to try to go to the next level. Or their goal is to get a degree. There's only 2 goals when it comes to that. Some people do it to have fun, but people don't do it to have fun sometimes. They just do it they do it for more as a business aspect.
So you have morals though. You said you're not doing it for less than $5 million or whatever is the case, but you're not everybody. Some people will be like, okay, $10K, I'll do it for $10K.
But what would their career be after that, doing all the mistakes? What were what would their stock be? Is the NFL overriding a script for them before they go to the league? But all right, he's gonna be top 3 round. He's gonna be top 3 rounds, regardless of the mistakes he makes. But the sponsorship is fucking his projected value to go to the league.
But here's the thing. I know this person will do what I tell him to do.
Yeah, but like,
so I like that. I'm gonna build a narrative around him, and will do what I tell him to do.
But what I'm saying is that people at this age, when there's no money, like that's why the NIL fucks everything up. To be real, that's why I don't think it's a script, because before there was no NIL.
Yeah, but now that the NIL, it makes it possible for there to be a script.
I mean, is Georgia going to win it next year?
I don't know.
I feel like they will. I knew they was going to win it this year. But that's just because, like, you could tell, like, recruiting-wise. But, like, that's why I don't think it's a script, just because before there was no NIL. And, you know, there was transactions underneath that was going on, you know, under the table. But you're looking for the NFL. If you can get a sponsorship, you're good enough to go to the league. At that point. Why would you fuck up with a sponsorship? You know? Why would you fuck it all up on a sponsorship? And a lot of cases come out, people like Zion, even Zion got out. Somebody paid a flight ticket for him. And he got suspended in the league, the NBA, for like, I think 10 game suspension. And that was shit that happened in college. And then there's shit like that in the NFL, too. Reggie Bush got his shit revoked, Heisman. I don't know. There's suspensions in the league, too. Suspensions could be, I feel like suspensions are scripted. I don't feel like it's scripted, but I feel like suspensions are targeted on certain people and certain players. And that could be scripted. I don't know. I feel like that's a target for sure.
I mean, that's part of it. Even if the NFL isn't scripted through and through, like you said, certain things can be scripted. You got to make they can. It's not hard to script to make some people the good guys and some people the bad guys. If you keep ejecting certain people, they're gonna be the bad guys. It's like,
see, I don't know if that's a script. I think that's just projecting media to people to make it seem like it. Because you can make Daniel Jones look like a bad guy, and then make, I guess, the other star from Buffalo, Josh Allen, look like a good guy. That's easy to do. Because lately, Tom Brady been looking like the bad guy. Everybody wants to beat him. He was the big boss in the NFL. I don't think that's script. I think that's just projecting media, hyping the audience up. You know what I mean?
Okay, I might be stupid for bringing race into it, but like, where does Tom Brady start at? Early 2000s, right?
Yeah.
He goes from your typical regular backup to your white savior of a place like New England. New England is 4 or 5 states, right?
Yeah.
You're bringing in the revenue from all, like, I'm thinking from a business standpoint. You're bringing in the money from all these areas and into one, and the person who's doing it is Tom Brady, your savior.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he's the perfect person that you want as, like, he's tall, white. He's what you want as your, like, comic book hero.
Yeah.
I'm say.
Yeah. I know what you mean.
He's what you want as a comic book hero.
But
so
like,
it's easy to build a narrative. Easy to get people to trust him.
Was Tom Brady on the cover of Madden how many times?
Like 2? No, 1.
What about Michael Vick?
Michael Vick.
Everybody wanted to be Michael Vick. Why wasn't Michael Vick, to be real, he might have been scripted in the league. Out of everybody, Michael Vick was the most electrifying player to ever play in the NFL. If you talk about the white savior Tom Brady, white people want to be Michael Vick. I seen white people get braids like him. I seen white people wear number 7 because of him.
And then how fast was it until everybody turned on him? And
Is it scripted that he had dogfights? Was that part? And then go to jail for like 5 years?
But why'd he go to jail for that?
Dogfights is legal.
It's illegal, but that's not a jail. You shouldn't get a jail sentence. You should get fined for that.
It's probably more to it. I don't know how laws work when it comes to that stuff.
He got over penalized.
He probably got caught with guns or something in his crib too, or the people affiliated with him. It was probably a big business. It was probably like almost like Rico size.
Nah,
it was a big business. He was running he was running a business a dogfight business.
Those are his friends. It wasn't a business.
Who knows it wasn't a business? Who knows he was bringing people, like, who knows?
Yeah, like he.
I don't know the investigation, but I know there's a lot of people that was involved in that.
Yeah.
More than just his friends.
Yeah, there was. I agree with that. But at the end of the day, he was how fast did everybody go? Like you said, from loving Michael Vick to hating him. And I care about dogs. I feel like you shouldn't just, you know, fight people, fight animals, fight people, anything like that for fun or for entertainment, for gain.
Yeah.
But again, what he paid for monetary wise and what he paid for time wise, he was way over penalized.
I'm about to look it up.
Like, if I had a dog fighting ring, I'm not going to jail for 5 years.
It was not 5 years. It was less than that, actually.
What, 3?
So he had 48 dogs seized. So he had 48 dogs fighting. That's a lot. He had 18 months in federal prison.
18, so 2 years. No, a year and a half. And then how long did it take for him to get back to NFL, though? Because nobody wanted him. Well, I'm not going to say nobody wanted him, but
He returned in 2015, 2 years later.
2 years? Yeah, see? So he lost 2 or 3 years.
But was that in the script? No, actually, no. In 2007, he came back 2015.
I don't think it would be hard to get a judge
Or something like that.
to give him a max sentence for something that, like, actually give him jail time instead of just giving him a huge fine and seizing the dogs. My grandparents in Massachusetts.
But, like, what are you trying to say? $48 is a lot, bro.
It is.
There's probably cases out there with just 20 dollars and people are in jail for longer than 18 months. He had the best lawyer. You told me his lawyer didn't give him less the minimum sentence?
Well, what if the judge was
probably was
corrupt?
minimum sentence.
What if the judge was corrupt?
That's why I don't believe it was corrupt. When players like this or celebrities at this stature, they usually get minimum sentences because they get the best of the best. R. Kelly, like, look at R. Kelly. He just got out of jail. All his prosecutor, like, the prosecutor took away all his the shit that happened to him.
Where was he? He was prosecuted in Virginia, right?
Yeah.
Maybe he would, if he was prosecuted in Atlanta, it would have been different. Because people in Atlanta love him.
I don't know. I don't think, like,
People in Washington don't love him.
I don't think it's Atlanta, to be real. At the end of the day, is the commissioner gonna allow him to come back after that?
Why not? He was somebody who, like you said, was one of the most
Doing that,
entertainment.
48 dogs and making them dog fight is equivalent to beating up a woman. It's assault.
No, it's worse than beating up a woman. In
It's
the
assault.
public's eyes.
But it's assault.
But people beat up women and still, like, they don't go to jail for that.
I don't know. I know some that go to jail. I know some that didn't. It's a toss up.
Like, Ray Rice didn't go to jail.
I don't know.
Man, this shit was ass. Oh my God. I was trying to be scared for the camera the whole time, and I just beat it without even paying attention. I didn't even know it was about smoking.
Yeah, I didn't know either.
Just like 3 out of 4 teens who think they'll escape smoking,
The
but
real
don't
cost.
know the real cost.
That's a bad ad. I ain't gonna lie.
That was so bad. Hey, that's a 0-star game.
It is.
But I was literally trying to be scared the whole time. I was running the whole time.
I didn't know it was a cigar ad.
I saw all the smoking lungs and
lungs-
stuff, the
the
black
lungs and
tar.
stuff,
I knew.
yeah.
I was like, okay, so it's talking about smoking. But jeez, what? Come on, man.
That was actually bad.
I thought it was gonna be actually scary.
Yeah, that was actually bad.
I know a lot of people. So what we've been talking about, I know a lot of people won't agree with me about. Some people wanted them to take everything from Michael Vick, but think about this: what's worse, hurting a person or hurting a dog? And some people say they're the equal. Yada yada yada.
I don't think so. I think it hurt any person.
And a lot of people, I think people would say hurting a dog is just as bad.
See, okay, you gotta hit them with, would you want your kid to be hurt or your dog?
They're gonna say, my dog is part of my family. He's my kid. Or she's my kid.
They're gonna say it hurt equally?
Yeah.
Okay, that doesn't, but, like, I'm asking, which one do you prefer? Do you prefer somebody to put your kid in a fighting competition? without his permission or a dog in this fighting competition. You got to pick either or.
I would agree.
I'm going with my bloodline.
You're trusting your kids?
No, I'm going with my bloodline.
I thought you said I trust my kids to get it done.
No,
so I'm gonna say my dog and I'm gonna put my kid in there.
My kid's getting molested in there.
Wow, beat up and then grab him by the balls.
He's not gonna be a fighter. He's gonna fight with guns.
But from what I'm taking, I don't think you agree with me, and that's fine. That to have a different opinions, but I think Michael Vick was over sentenced, and it's easy to build a bad narrative for somebody or get him out because. Again, this is what was this? 2012?
Let me check.
Like, how many black quarterbacks are in the NFL?
This is 2007 that happened.
Yeah, how many black quarterbacks are there? Is he the
Dante
only one?
Culpepper.
Okay, 2.
Vince Young.
3.
I can name more, but I don't want to.
This is the time in the NFL where you have your white savior quarterback. Michael Vick was electrifying, and he did everything right. All right, I take that back. He didn't do everything right, but he was electrifying, did everything right on the field to sell tickets, sell jerseys, and everything like that. It's time to bring in a new white quarterback. He served his purpose, and he costs too much now. Yeah. And he wasn't easy to control. That's something I know owners looking for that in players. Somebody who is going to do everything I tell them to do.
Yeah.
And that's part of scripting it.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. Do you think we accomplished it, though? Having a good conversation about this?
Yeah, there's just two sides to it. Two ways to look at it. I agree that some things are scripted. I agree some things just can't be scripted just because, the nature of... you can't stop the flow of certain things.
Yeah. But I agree with the things that some things can, some things can't. But I also think overall it would be.
I agree that they have going to every season, they have a person that they want to make sure they show every day.
Yeah.
Elon, I'm not going to put a certain university, I feel like they script certain players to promote them than others. And that's terrible because certain players should get the same promotion. Or I think they scripted a certain way to not make that happen.
Or just because I would with a smaller school, NCAA, a lot less money's on the line. So I don't get why a coach would want to put their favorite or the person that they want to build that narrative that we were talking about on the field when the person is not the best option.
Yeah.
Because in the NFL, as I said earlier, it's not about wins and losses. You're going to sell tickets, you're going to sell jerseys, you're going to sell helmets, you're going to sell all this no matter what. You're going to sell food at the games, you're going to sell beer, because the NFL is certain people that, this is what I live for. I live for Sunday and watching my favorite team play.
Yeah.
But in NCAA, there are some people like that at big schools like Michigan, Alabama, Georgia. People live for that. But still, it's not the end-all, be-all.
Yeah.
I'm saying it's not the end-all, be-all at a small school.
But, let's say, I'm going to call this person Arthur from the Anteater.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
He has a very large, he has a lot of influence in the media world. Why is he not your front runner of your sports team when he can promote so much?
Because certain people are not smart.
Yeah,
certain people are not smart.
They're dumb.
Okay, so if you had a power drill and a screwdriver, you're using your screwdriver because it's your favorite. But you can get the job done way easier with the power drill.
Yeah.
That's what I know who you're talking about, and that's what I feel like that's their mindset.
So
I love the screwdriver, so
I gotta stick with
use it.
Yeah, I gotta stick with it.
But you have a power drill, you could easily. You can build the house by the time you're done building a wall.
Yeah, and you'll be the most followed team in the conference, without a doubt.
But hey, that's not for me.
Yeah, it's scripted that way, for sure. Or you just dumb.
I wouldn't say it's scripted. I think it's meat riding.
Yeah, it is me, right?
It's who do you like to taste more?
Yeah.
Hey,
The Bratwurst or the sausage, hot sausage.
yeah.
Bratwurst is thicker though. I don't know about that. Yeah, but
Who can hit you in the back of the throat? That's what they're thinking.
wow, tonsils.
Tonsil, yeah. But I'm still mad that game was that ass.
Yeah, that game was actually terrible. I need to delete it.
I wanted an action scary game.
They say it was a horror game on there.
It was some scary parts, but nah.
Oh, don't smoke your lungs like this.
Nah, when the dude was running back and
Oh
forth.
yeah, that was actually kind of like.
Cause I thought I was trying to. So he would run this way. I would run the opposite way. Cause I was thinking something was gonna come that way and scare me, but nothing ever happened.
You really try to get scared.
I was going for every jump scare. I was looking for it, but I don't know. Let us know what you think. Is the NFL scripted? Is the NCAA scripted now? It might be.
Is Courage the Dog based on a true story?
Hey, let us know what you think. Thank you guys. Like, comment, subscribe. Hey, do whatever you want. We're doing this for entertainment. We're doing this for fun. I would say, enjoy the videos. That's all I ask for. That's all we ask for.
Yeah, I hope you enjoy it. And watch the other ones.
Yeah.
Basketball video out, by the way.
Yeah. But thank you guys.
This one looks way more scary.
Turn the slide.